and Google Play Store. And now to the details of the news. The federal government has constituted an interagency technical committee to scrutinize a proposed $200 billion integrated gas, power and high-speed rail project, underscoring the need for rigorous due diligence before any final approval. Inaugurating the panel in Abuja, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, tasked members to carry out a thorough, objective and professional review of the proposal in line with national interest. He said the committee's work is critical to ensuring that government's decisions on the ambitious infrastructure plan are guided by credible technical analysis, final verification and regulatory compliance. Akume disclosed that relevant security, financial intelligence and regulatory agencies had already provided preliminary inputs, particularly on funding arrangements and the entities involved, reinforcing the need for a coordinated technical review. The committee draws membership from critical ministries, departments and agencies, including those responsible for transportation, petroleum resources, finance, justice and environment, as well as regulatory and security institutions. Its terms of reference include verification of proof of fund and funding commitment by the promoters, assessment of fiscal and contingent liabilities, and evaluation of the project financing model. Nigeria has called on the international community to ensure that emerging global hydrogen economy is fair and inclusive, warning against a repeat of past patterns where developing countries were left behind in major industrial transition. The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Abubakar Bagudu, made the call during his closing remark at the conference on clean hydrogen, shaping sustainable industry future, organized by the United Nations Industrial Development Organization in Vienna, Austria. Bagudu spoke at the gathering of policymakers and industry leaders, where he said the global shift to clean hydrogen must not mirror earlier economic systems where wealth and industrial value were concentrated in a few regions, leaving others as mere suppliers of raw resources. He explained that hydrogen should not be seen only as a tool for reducing carbon emission, but also as an opportunity for industrial growth, job creation, security, energy security, and economic diversification, particularly for developing countries like Nigeria. According to him, the transition to clean hydrogen offers a rare chance for many nations to move from the margins to the center of global energy systems, but this can only happen if the process is built on cooperation, fairness, and shared benefits. Moving on, the federal government has approved the rerouting of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway to pass through Ogoniland in honor of the late Senator Impigi Barinada Bari. Speaking at a night of tribute in Abuja, Umahi described Impigi's death as a profound loss to the nation and recalled his unwavering commitment to national development, integrity, and bridge building in the Senate. He noted that Senator Impigi's legacy extends beyond his constituency, with impactful projects in Lagos, Ogun, Sokoto, Kebbi, and Kano states. Umahi described the late lawmaker, who represented Rivers Southeast Senatorial District, as a man of impeccable integrity, whose words was his bond, emphasizing that such consistency is rare in politics. The minister highlighted Senator Impigi's instrumental role in resolving challenges on key road projects, including the Bodo-Boni Road and the Eleme-One section of the East-West Road in Rivers State. In recognition of Senator Impigi's service, it stated that President Bola Tinubu has approved the rerouting of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway to pass through Ogoniland. Umahi assured the bereaved family of the federal government's support, pledging to sustain Senator Impigi's developmental vision. And back home in Ogun State, the Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has called on traditional rulers in this state to ensure strict vigilance across their various domains. He stated this during the first quarter meeting of the Ogun State Council of Obas, adding that government is taking every step to ensure it puts in place early warning signals against insecurity. Governor's Office correspondent Yusuf Ganiu has the details.
While he noted that the roles of traditional rulers in intelligence gathering, mediation, and community sensitization are critical in maintaining the peace that the state requires to prevent any form of crisis, Governor Abiodun assured that his administration would continue to strengthen its security architecture and collaborate with security agencies. He also said traditional rulers function as government eyes, ears, and chief security officers with a deep knowledge of local realities, adding that his administration recognized that provision of security is a shared responsibility. He added that traditional rulers occupy a very sacred and strategic position in his administration's governance structure, adding that they are custodians of heritage, the closest to the grassroots, and the bridge between government and the people.
We continue to build on the infrastructure that we are providing. Yes, we have about 1 year left in office. We remain laser focused in providing the multi-modal transport infrastructure, the housing, the healthcare, all we are doing in education, agri, and all other sectors across the length and breadth of our state.
Abiodun charged traditional rulers in the state to exercise due diligence within their various domains, noting that they should be very vigilant, report strange movement and strange people within their domains to law enforcement agencies. He urges traditional rulers to desist from giving or allocating land to just anybody, and joining them to be diligent and work with their subject to ensure that they verify all those coming into their various domains.
Land administration must be handled with integrity, with transparency, and with strict adherence to our laws. The offices must never be associated with actions that will undermine our peace and security, and of course the public trust that you hold.
The chairman, Ogun State Council of Obas and Paramount of Yewaland, Oba Kehinde Olugbenle, commended the governor for the continuing welfare programs directed towards the council, noting that the governor over the years has not played with the welfare of monarchs in the state.
We want to appreciate you that you started the project and the Almighty gave you the enablement and the grace to commission it. So we will give it to you. And on that note, I will say congratulations. My prayer that those that will be coming after you, by the grace of the Almighty God, will sustain and ensure that the legacy you have laid down in Ogun State will not be brought back.
The Ogun State Traditional Council meeting has over the years been a platform for engagement between the governor and monarchs. Yusuf Ganiu, OGTV News.
Meanwhile, the Ogun State Council of Others has commended Governor Dapo Abiodun for his continued commitment to the welfare of the traditional rulers and the overall development of the state. The Royal Fathers gave the commendation following the presentation of 40 brand new sports utility vehicles to members of the council, describing the gesture as a timely and a demonstration of responsive leadership. Matthew Shomi has the details.
What is expected to be a routine statutory meeting of the Ogun State Council of Obas took a remarkable turn as Governor Dapo Abiodun presents 40 brand new SUVs to the traditional rulers. The gesture, with a promise of 20 additional vehicles, further underscores the administration's commitment to strengthening traditional institutions and enhancing their operations. The monarchs expressed delight, praising the governor for recognizing the critical role of traditional rulers in fostering peace, unity, and grassroots development across the state.
It's more than 60 because we are not even including the ones given to the paramount rulers. So that makes 64 cars. I want to thank him.
Because it takes so much for one to give a brand new vehicle of 20 at a go. So we should continue to pray for him.
I think the other governors coming will look at this and see what they can do.
So Prince Dapo Abiodun is doing very, very well. I commend him. his actions are commendable.
Consider what he has been doing in the state is marvelous. You know, it's a silent achiever. Today again, I promise to do more.
He's our son. He knows how to take care of the royal father. I'm proud of him. He's making the royal father happy.
You know what the economy is saying now, and you know how much each costs. So it shows that he's a prince. I know he knows the value of the Obas.
Addressing the gathering, the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Honorable Ganiyu Hamzat, highlights the enduring influence of traditional institutions in shaping the socio-political and economic landscape of communities. He knows that their leadership continues to promote collaboration, mutual understanding, and inclusive governance.
I therefore wish to urge all our cabinet as today's meeting in the usual practice to engage constructively and come up with practicable and impactful recommendations towards addressing the contemporary challenges of our communities in the areas of strengthening security, enhancing community development, and promoting socio-economic growth.
The Commissioner commends the Governor for prioritizing the welfare of traditional rulers, noting that such support motivates them to sustain peace and drive development in their respective domains. Matthew Shomi, OGTV News.
And away from that story, one of the efforts to position Ogun State as a major industrial and logistic hub in Nigeria is the Agro-Cargo Airport initiative spearheaded by Governor Dapo Abiodun, designed to boost trade, attract investment, and enhance connectivity. While the project has generated both optimism and scrutiny among stakeholders, economic analysts say its long-term benefits could significantly impact commerce, job creation, and revenue generation within the state and beyond. Margaret Okulola has more.
The Cargo Airport project, located within the Iperu-Ilishan corridor of the state, is expected to serve as a major gateway for the export of agricultural produce and manufactured goods. Some Nigerians who spoke with OGTV noted that improved air freight services could reduce post-harvest losses and facilitate faster access to international markets.
It is not just an international airport, it is an agro-cargo international passengers airport. So meaning that it is not just cargo, right? Our local farmers around here can actually begin to earn foreign currencies. That's what it means. And that's why I'm pretty much excited, because Ogun State is a bulk of places in Ogun State are agrarian based. And you know that many of our people are farmers. We farm cassava, we farm potatoes, we farm tomatoes, pepper, and all of that. Now, with this facility, I can harvest my tomato here in the morning and be selling it in London in the evening. That's what it means.
This will boost the economy, definitely, and it will open more doors for revenues for this great state.
Beyond trade facilitation, the project is projected to stimulate job creation across multiple sectors, from construction to aviation services and logistics. Thousands of direct and indirect employment opportunities are anticipated, contributing to poverty reduction and improved livelihoods.
Ogun State being the gateway state of so many things, we have added the airport as another gateway into the state. And I have no doubt in my mind that in the nearest future we are going to have a seaport. Because when you say gateway state, it must be through the air, the land, and the sea. Ogun State, being an agrarian state, will produce cash crops and even sometimes food crops and flowers. And within 24, 48 hours, those items will be landing in Europe and other parts of the world.
Stakeholders believe the airport's strategic location enhances the state's competitiveness as a preferred destination for business expansion.
To make a good idea sustainable has a lot to do with people, with all parties involved. And I'll give you one experience that I had in this same Gateway International Airport. The first time I ventured to travel through Gateway International Airport, Iperu, by value jet, it was on a Tuesday. I traveled to Abuja, fantastic journey, seamless.
What else you want Omoba Dakwabiodun? What else do you want him to do? You know, he touched us, touched everybody. In terms of road, you see what he's doing all over the senatorial district. And I give it to the team working with him. They are really working good.
However, some have emphasized the need for effective management to ensure the airport delivers on its economic promises without becoming a financial burden. As the project progresses, attention remains on how effectively it will integrate into Nigeria's broader aviation network and whether it will deliver the anticipated economic transformation for the people of Ogun State. Margaret Okunola, OGTV News.
And still to come on the news. Lassa fever fatality rate rises as Nigeria records 167 deaths. More news and report after this break. You're still watching the comprehensive news package on OGTV. Cooperative members under the Ogun State House of Assembly Cooperative Multipurpose Society Limited have been encouraged to be disciplined and avoid spending their hard-earned income on frivolities so as to prevent any unnecessary financial burden. The Speaker, Right Honorable Oludaisi Elemide, gave the words of encouragement during the 10th and 11th Annual General Meeting of the Society held at the Assembly Complex, Okemoson, Abeokuta. Kolawole Show's report is presented in this package.
They are members of the Ogun State House of Assembly Cooperative Multipurpose Society Limited, converged for the 10th and 11th Annual General Meeting of the Society held at the Assembly Complex, Okemoson, Abeokuta. Speaker, Right Honorable Oludaisi Elemide, speaking at the event, advised young officers to plan ahead for their retirement by ensuring that they save for the raining day, while warning them against any venture that could place any unnecessary financial burden on them. He commended the society for its ingenuity in the management of its resources, stressing that cooperative societies had a crucial role in the sustenance of families.
Well, those of you that are winding up, thank God, but those of you that still have more years in the service, please start planning for your retirement. No matter how little your salary is, try and tap something now so that what you get or what you more up and down, go to the and when you leave now, the business would have been yielding no matter how little.
In his remarks, the clerk and head of legislative service, Shakiru Adebakim, counseled the cooperative executive and the members that one major principle of the contributory pension scheme is to save for the future. He lauded the supervisory organs of cooperative societies in the state, especially the State Ministry of Community Development and Cooperatives, as well as the officials of the Mothers Union for the success achieved by the cooperative societies in the state.
Now, for you to keep ₦1, you have to be self-disciplined, especially in view of the meager amount we receive as monthly salaries. Yes, as human beings, no matter the amount of money you receive, it will never be enough for you. Because as you have more, your aspirations will be greater. But discipline will start when you are able to manage the little you have, at least to achieve something. Then when you have more, you'll be able to do better.
Speaking, the manager, Mothers Union, Pastor Kayode Omoyele, admonished cooperative members to take care of their health and ensure increased savings in their cooperative societies to have something to take care of their future.
In the health sector, Nigeria has recorded 167 deaths and 663 confirmed Lassa fever cases so far in 2026. As the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention warns of a rising fatality rate despite a drop in new infections. It is in its week 13 report covering March 23 to 29, the NCDC said confirmed cases declined to 26 from 51 recorded in previous week. The new infections were reported in Edo, Bauchi, Ondo, Taraba, Ebonyi, Benue, and Kaduna states. However, the cumulative figures present a more concerning trend. The 167 deaths recorded so far translate to a case fatality rate of 25.2%, significantly higher than the 18.5% reported during the same period in 2025. The report shows that Lassa fever has spread to 22 states and 93 local government areas, with Bauchi, Ondo, Edo, and Benue accounting for 85% of confirmed cases. Bauchi leads with 28%, followed by Ondo at 22% and Taraba at 18%, while no new infection among healthcare workers were recorded during the week under review. The NCDC noted that both suspected and confirmed cases remain higher than figures reported at the same time last year. To contain the outbreak, the agency said a national multi-partner incident management system has been activated alongside measures such as contact tracing, infection prevention strategies, and deployment of rapid response team to high-burden states. In a bid to ensure compliance with public service rules, as well as foster discipline and uphold integrity within the public sector, the Ogun State government, through the Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, has organized a one-day seminar for fire service officers. The seminar was aimed at equipping officers with the knowledge needed to enhance professionalism while also familiarizing them with the revised Ogun State public service rules. Ayodeji Tomori Uluobi has the details.
Continuous training remains essential for maintaining a competitive edge, improving productivity, and fostering innovation. It enables employees to adapt to evolving industry demands, new technologies, and global best practices. It is against this backdrop that the Ogun State Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs organized a seminar to reacquaint fire service officers with the revised public service rules. In a welcome address, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Funmi Soyoye Baker, described the training as a reaffirmation of the commitment of the state workforce to support government efforts.
Amid the flames and emergencies, one principle anchors your mission: obedience to public service rules. These rules are not mere formalities. They form the bedrock of public service ethos. Obeying them ensures accountability, fairness, and efficiency in every action we take.
Delivering a lecture, the resource person, Titilope Akindele, emphasized that discipline in the public service is key to maintaining order, ensuring adherence to regulations, and reducing corruption, ultimately promoting professionalism and effective service delivery.
Action prejudicial to the security of the state. Advanced fee fraud, that's 419, aiding and abetting, bankruptcy, bribery and corruption, contravention of any provision of the public service rules and financial regulation, conviction on a criminal charge, alcohol of a cyber fraud, disobedience to lawful order, divided loyalty, drunkenness, embezzlement, engaging in partisan politics. All of these are rules under misconduct that you must be aware of and not fall victim of.
The State Director of Fire Service, Engineer Abdul Fattah Adefala, expressed appreciation to the state government for investing in the capacity development of the officers to enhance performance and efficiency.
This has already been in-service training to ginger them up to know the do's and don'ts of what the public service rule says, so that whenever they go back to their various station, they could be able to know the importance of what the civil service role is about.
The session concluded with an interactive question and answer segment. Ayodeji Tomori Olumi, OGTV News.
The Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, retired, has called for an end to silo operations among security and intelligence agencies, stressing the need for integrated intelligence to tackle Nigerian security challenges effectively. Speaking during a meeting with members of the intelligence community in Abuja, the minister said actionable intelligence remained critical to supporting troops in the field, particularly in asymmetric warfare, where threats emerge from both internal and external sources. He noted that although security agencies had been operating effectively, their efforts were often fragmented, reducing overall impact. General Musa added that the President had directed enhanced jointness in operations, stressing that every service and agency must work collaboratively to improve national security. The minister explained that the meeting was conveyed to strengthen collaboration, build collective capacity, and ensure intelligence gathered across agency was effectively applied in operations. Musa also urged Nigerians to support security agencies with timely and credible information, noting that improved human intelligence would enhance operational effectiveness and national security. He assured that the Ministry of Defense will support intelligence agencies and facilitate better coordination to strengthen troops' capabilities in the field. As Nigeria continues to strengthen its democratic process, youth participation in politics is gaining renewed attention, with many young people now taking active roles in governance and decision-making. With youths making up over 60% of the nation's population, stakeholders say their growing involvement is shaping policies, promoting innovations, and driving sustainable development across the country. Olaide Oloye Sholuade reports.
In recent years, there has been a significant rise in youth engagement in politics, from elective positions to advisory roles, and active participation in policy discussions at various levels of government. This development, observers say, reflects a shift towards inclusiveness as more young Nigerians step forward to contribute their ideas and leadership skills to national development. Speaking with OGTV, the special advisor to the Ogun State Governor on Youth Development, Comrade Olamide Lawal, commended the increasing opportunities available to young people, noting that many youth are now being given platforms to express themselves and influence policies.
There are many young people that are in this government that are doing very, very fine. It's because the governor incorporated them into the system. That is why they are being exposed and their expertise is being used for the development of the state. So I always tell them that young people should get involved. Get your voter's card. Politics is for all of us. Don't let anybody use you. Use yourself. Be involved in the politics. Be involved in what is happening even within your locality, within your community, even within your house.
The Ogun State chairman of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Akola Wale Shoreni, highlighted the growing awareness among youth, stating that more young Nigerians are becoming political conscious and actively engaging beyond election periods.
I particularly too, I'm a very young person. Aside from my office as the youth chairman for Ogun State, I also coordinate the State Task Force on Human Trafficking, where we have eminent personalities, people of reasonable calibers. So Ogun State government, through the administration of His Excellency, has been doing a lot of efforts to ensure that our young people are being promoted in the area of politics, and to also give us leverage as well in terms of our governance. So it has been commendable, and of course we can only wish that we have an improved level of participation as well.
Officials also reaffirmed their effort to further empower young people through leadership development program, entrepreneurship initiative, and inclusive governance structure.
The youth needs to understudy the elders, but at the same time, we have been able to contribute our quota to development of the country with our skills, with our energy that we have in the country. And I want to tell you today that if youth are given an opportunity to serve at the larger stage, if youth were given the opportunity, with or without no supervision, and with the right momentum and with the right tools to work with, I would tell you today, the future of this country is entrusting leadership power to the youth. And
it was also noted that the increasing visibility of youth in politics is a positive sign for Nigeria's democratic future, which calls for sustained support for policies that enhance youth participation.
Sensitize the youth on the importance of being part of the process. It's not enough to complain and be on the sideline, but it's important that you are playing the game and you are at the table when it's being done.
As Nigeria continues its democratic journey, the rising involvement of young people in politics offers hope for more inclusive and progressive society, where the voices of the younger generation contribute meaningfully to nation building. Olaide Oloye Sholuade, OGTV News.
Yewa People's Development Council, a pan-social cultural development organization and the umbrella body for all groups and associations in Yewa axis of Ogun State, under the auspices of the Yewa Traditional Council, has concluded arrangements to honor a prominent Nigerian citizen who is an indigene of Yewa land, IGP Olukayode Egbetoku, who retired recently as the Inspector General of the Nigerian Police after many years of meritorious service to the country. In a statement issued by the chairman of Yewa People's Development Council, Professor Ramon Bello, the civil reception is a token of appreciation of the people of Yewa land to an illustrious son who was the 22nd indigenous Inspector General of Police and the first one to be appointed in Ogun State. The statement further reveals that His Royal Majesty Oba Dr. Kendi Olugbenle MFR, the Olu of Ilaro and the paramount ruler of Yewa land, will lead the Yewa Traditional Council to appreciate IGP Egbetoku and his wife at the occasion. The event, according to the statement, will be held on Saturday, 11th April 2026 at Yewa Frontier Hotel, Ilaro. Among the dignitaries expected to grace the occasion include the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dr. Abiodun CON, the new Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Rilwandizu, top military and police officers, captain of industry, and top traditional rulers from across the country, among others. Kayode Egbetoku, having served the nation in various capacities, became IGP on the 20th of June 2023 and voluntarily retired in February 2026. Up next is business news with Adibola Oshomoji. Do stay with us.
Glad to have you on the business segment of the news. The federal government has clarified controversy surrounding the approval of a 33.3 trillion naira plan by President Bola Tinubu to settle verified legacy debt owed to power generation companies between February 2015 and March 2025. The initiative under the Presidential Power Sector Financial Reforms Program aims to stabilize the power grid and improve electricity supply, with 223 billion naira already disbursed. A statement issued on Sunday by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, stated that implementation of the repayment plan has already begun, with 15 power plants already signed settlement agreement totaling 2.3 trillion naira. The approval, however, soon generated controversy among Gencos, who asked Tinubu to clarify how the federal government arrived at the period 3.3 trillion naira debt, raising concerns over discrepancies between the figure and reconciled industry records. The federal government has inaugurated the newly reconstructed Governing Board of Nigeria Commodity Exchange as part of effort to strengthen the country's commodities market. The development was disclosed in a post on the exchange official X handle and confirmed by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole. The inauguration, which took place in Abuja on Wednesday, signals the commencement of a new leadership phase aimed at repositioning the exchange for improved market performance. Dr. Oduwole said the newly inaugurated board is expected to provide the strategic direction needed to fully operationalize the exchange. The call by the World Bank for the federal government to reopen the reinstate fuel import has sharply divided industry players, with marketers pushing for full deregulation and competition, while some energy experts caution against undermining local refinery capacity. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria argued that restriction fuel imports undermines the spirit of deregulation under the Petroleum Industry Act, insisting that a truly liberalized market must allow both local and international players to compete freely. Energy experts, however, have had a more cautious perspective, questioning the basis of the World Bank recommendation and urging the government to prioritize national energy security. They added that improving transparency in refining cost and pricing template would build public confidence, while a balanced approach would help stabilize the sector without exposing Nigeria to external supply shocks. Still on business news, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals has slashed the ex-gantry price of premium motor spirit petrol to 1,200 naira per litre, revising its earlier increase amid a sharp drop in global crude oil prices triggered by geopolitical development. The latest adjustment represents a 75 naira reduction from the previous price of about 1,275 naira per litre, which the refinery had implemented in response to rising international oil prices and supply concerns. A top official at the refinery confirmed the earlier price hike to the journalist, said the facility adjusted its pricing in response to prevailing international crude oil benchmarks and market realities. Nigeria's electricity, gas, steam and air conditioning supply sector contributed a total of 62.12 billion naira in company income tax in 2025. This is according to data released by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. The figure represents a decline from the 77.97 billion naira recorded in 2024, indicating a year-on-year contraction in tax contributions from the energy supply segment. The latest data highlights weakening performance in the sector despite broader resilience in Nigeria's corporate tax base. A quarterly breakdown shows that tax contributions fluctuated significantly throughout the year, reflecting operational and macroeconomic pressures affecting companies in the sector. And lastly, on the business segment of the news, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has debunked rumors suggesting that Polaris Bank is undergoing liquidation, assuring the public that the country's banking system remains stable and secure. The Apex Bank disclosed this in a post on X, where it shared a screenshot of a viral claim and flagged it as false. It's clarified that the claims suggesting Polaris Bank had failed to meet recapitalization requirement and was set for liquidation are entirely false and do not reflect the current state of Nigerian banking sector. And that ends the business segment of the news. The rest of the bulletin continues with Okbayemi Adewumi to stay with us.